Alright guys, STF Gaming here. Really want to go over a review against South City Duelist. It is going to be me playing Hero Frogs versus them playing like a Floodgate Hero Beat. It's not really like the Diva version, it's more of like a skill drain version with Gemini Lancers. It's actually not like a terrible deck. I think it's pretty cool. And I think I play decently well in this matchup, but I think there's a lot to go over, and we're gonna kind of go over this game in slow mode, so it might be a while. I know normally my videos are a bit more fast paced, but I wanna kind of analyze this a bit and see how the game goes. So we start off and we lose the RPS. Um, let's see how our hand looks. So really good hand. I mean, we have the Regeki break, which answers anything. We have the hero, we have the frog, we have the monarch. The only thing you could ask for is maybe a miracle fusion or a heavy storm, and it's like a perfect hand. So they go upstart, summon alias, set two, and they have the skill drain. Um, skill drain solemn, pretty good. And there's a lot of lines we can choose here. The Stratos isn't ideal because they have an alias, so like alias gets to run over it. The substitute is like we could consider discarding sub special swap tribute for Caius, but that's a bit overextending. We could also consider summon Stratos, search Ocean, discard the Ocean for swap frog, and go for a really quick miracle because against most hero beats they don't have like a great answer to miracle aside from like an honest or a Gemini Spark. And so I think this play is pretty good because like you can summon the swap, you can set up your substitute, your Caius, and somewhat your Miracle Fusion. You can potentially set their Geki break and see where it goes from there. I'm fine with all this. They don't skill drain. Oh, they do. Yeah, they were like AFK. I'm fine with that. So skill drain my swap, I bounce it. So we draw E-call there. Not the best draw. Like we already have the hero we want, so not great. But oh, actually it is pretty decent because we can trade here. Yeah, that's not bad. I like that. I like that line of play. And then here probably just gonna summon Stratos and trade. Just keep the trading going. I'm fine with this. That was really good for them. I think they top deck that. Here they attack. I probably considered dropping the Fader because Kai's can at least like run over this, but decide to hold it. And we substitute, get a dupe, stall with that, get a 0 attack. This is all pretty good. Um, yeah, I'm fine with all this. We had to substitute because it was the only water at the time. And then their Cyber Dragon is going to be pretty good here. Like, it's going to be hard to deal with. Or actually, no, that was next game that it was hard to deal with, I think. Here we just have 0. What am I saying? Drawing Miracle, really good. They got rid of one hero, but we still have a water. So here we Fader, Tribute for Caius, target that just in case they have Bottomless or something. I'm not trying to like cheat. That's just how you're supposed to play. You're supposed to use the card's effect. That's literally you have to activate the effect. I mean, if they had pulling the rug, they could use pulling the rug there because I have to activate Caius, even if skill drain is up. So now they're in the defensive mode. They're really holding their miracle. Kind of cool. Or I guess they don't have a hero yet because it's in the hand. I didn't even think of that. Activating the swap effect because why not? If they have torrential, I can use it. So they've been holding this Solemn the whole time. At this point in the game, you can kind of tell it's a Solemn. I think I figured it out at that point. I get another Hero Blast. These are timely Hero Blasts, like the way they're drawing them. At the momentum they're drawing them, pretty timely. But at the same time, it's like they still don't have the hero because it keeps putting it back in hand. So maybe I can't complain. Make the 0 that's gonna be kind of hard to deal with. We choose to Regeki break because we had a pretty good line there where we would kill the guy, then summon Caius, I guess. But again, we kind of knew it was a Solemn. Something here to note is we're at 26 and that's 25. And with the skill drain, it can't be buffed, so this Gores is probably going to connect. And honestly, Gores could be pretty good here if they didn't have the deep prison. So as long as I have a Treeborn plus another monster, I can just continually wall out until I get something going. That's kind of relevant here because, I mean, they'd have to draw a monster, and they're less likely to draw a monster than us. So it doesn't look that bad. The thing is, if we normal Caius, this is 25 attack, and we're at 100, so that's not really going to accomplish anything. And we draw another dupe, which is good because when it dies, it gets a monster. And we choose to get Treeborn there. And there they draw the e-call, so I guess we're dead, right? So if we could have survived that turn, it would have been kind of nice because we had the Dust Tornado, right? Oh, wait, they passed. What does that mean? I guess it doesn't mean anything because, like, even if we Caius to 0, they have Alias attack for game. I guess our only play is to set Ocean, but it would just we know they have Alias, so they're just going to win this game, I guess. The skill drain really carried that game at the end of the day. I had some opportunities to kill the skill drain, but there was never, like, they had a 0 on board and I had a Regeki break for it. It's like, if I kill the skill drain, I'm just going to die to the 0. I guess I think I had Caius at that point, so I could have Regeki break the skill drain, summon the Caius, but again, they had the Solemn Judgment. And honestly, if I Regeki break your skill drain, they're probably just going to hold the Solemn, and then they're going to have a Solemn and a 0, and I'll probably be in a even worse position than had I held my Regeki break, to be honest. So yeah. Anyway, let's look at a new game. Opponent has skill drain again. This is going to kind of carry when we have no spell and trap hate. But we do have some, like, these cards like OTK heroes, especially when they don't have Diva. Like, what are they going to do? Even if they have skill drain, like, these are really good. So let's see what happens. Okay, we draw the dust. We set Snowman. So I think South City Duelist plays pretty well here. Oh, by the way, I'm 1152 versus their 650. What's kind of weird is they kept in Heavy and MST. Like, why would you do that against Frogs? Especially when you have Gemini Spark. Let's read Gemini Spark real quick. One card on the field. So, like, they have a cool line in one of our games where they, like, MST their own oppression so they can, like, get a push in, which I can respect if it means, like, something good for the game. So that was initially why I thought they had the Typhoon in their deck, and I didn't even think about. I thought they cut their Heavy game too, but, like, they kept it in. That's just, it's too much spell and trap hate against a Frog deck. Anyway, we're gonna wall up. You only get punished by Torrential here, so just keep setting monsters, sure. We're gonna pass. So we get into an interesting game state where, like, we're gonna keep passing and make them make the first move. And since it's Grand Mole, so this Grand Mole is gonna put them at 7, and they're gonna be forced to commit cards to their back row. And that's kind of how I'm gonna play this game. I don't really want to commit Caius into nothingness, like targeting back rows. It just gets pulling the rug or something. So, and we don't have a frog set up, so, like, it's just a lot of commitment. So here we only use this. So first of all, we don't want to hit one of these because there's a likelihood that one of these is a continuous trap they can just chain to it. So I set the new one because it's far less likely that it's continuous. So we target that, and it ends up working out. The only reason why normally I'd save this, but we have too many cards in our hand, so kind of want to, like, not have to discard. I mean, it's not a pain to discard this Treeborn, but that actually could be good for, like, a swap frog later on. Okay, just keep setting, and they're going to keep Grand Moling, and as long as they don't have a spell or trap, they're going to have to discard. So we finally discard the tree. Here we set Rhoda, and they MST it. That's fine. They Stratos. They draw Snowman, set it. Alias attacks. They use their skill drain. We dust. They use their skill drain again. We think for a bit, and then we're gonna Regeki break it. Could have considered holding this. Like, I'm a fan of using the dust on the skill drain, on the first skill drain, but the second one isn't as important because at the end of the day, our monsters are bigger than theirs, or our monsters' defense points are more than their monsters' attack. So we have a wall to protect us, and if they make anything like a 0, then we can use the Regeki break on that maybe. But at the same time, that means they still have a skill drain, and that could be a pain. So I guess we just go for the Regeki break on the skill drain because they attacked into this. But now here's an interesting thing too. They use their Solemn. So at this point in the game, we're kind of, I mean, they definitely could be on road, but I feel like we're far more at ease. If we ever top deck a heavy, we can just slam it. Um, I don't think we ever end up drawing the heavy though. So yeah, we just have some walls. Let's try and fast forward this a little. It's going to be a bit of a stalemate for quite a bit. And that they're going to chain link so we don't get the dupe search. That's all fair. We just wall up. They dust shoot us. Our hands, I mean, they can take whatever they want here. So we have a line where we could like tribute for Gores, but it's just going to die. Okay, here's the Cyber Dragon that matters. This Cyber Dragon is huge. It can run over all our guys. All of a sudden, they have something that can deal with our board, so the game state's a lot more scary for us. On the plus side, our opponent's kind of low in life, so hopefully we can get something going. I mean, we are a miracle fusion away from like doing some nice things. So yeah, they're just gonna start pecking away at our board one card at a time with that Cyber Dragon. Torrential's a decent draw, and honestly, it can really bait out the road. Obviously, if they had a road on a Torrential, that would really blow. And also, this Treeborn is saving us a lot of life, so setting the Torrential could be awkward. But we do have like substitute Torrential lines, and also like if you use Stratos Chain Torrential, Stratos actually works under skill drain because he'll activate in graveyard and not on the field, or he'll resolve in the graveyard, not in the field. So we go Caius, target something. Obviously, Bottomless is gone, but still have if they have Rug, they could use it. They're probably not playing Rug with skill drain. I come to realize, and but they still could have Torrential. So this Caius is kind of relevant. So a smart play could be not attacking here to play around like Honest and Deprison. But I go for the attack anyway because I just don't want to lose all my defense guys. Like if I can deal with this Cyber, then these defense guys are gonna be huge. Like the Caius doesn't even matter. And yeah, that was my thought process. So I attack. And this Cyber keeps eating our stuff. And we have this set Torrential, so that means no more Treeborn. Set a Regeki break. So this is, I think this is like where the game gets a bit questionable on my end. Like, I think setting the Torrential was a bit questionable. Because it's dependent on our opponent committing to the board, and honestly, with a Cyber Dragon on their board, they can take their time and bite it up and just attack 4 times eventually and win. So they don't really ever have to commit their cards. And what the Torrential does for me is it kind of just like locks my Treeborn and my Gores, honestly, to be honest. And I don't hate setting the Regeki break. I'm fine with that because I think we need to answer the skill drain eventually or draw a Miracle Fusion, either or. Yeah, but setting the Torrential was questionable. So yeah, we draw the Miracle. We're just gonna slam it. I think this is good because we can get rid of the Cyber Dragon and then set the Substitute, and they're back in under the lock, right? The lock of 2,000 defense. They're only out being Cyber. That's pretty good. Honestly, if they held that Mirror Force, they would have been rewarded by drawing Honest. And honestly, it didn't cost. It cost you 400 life points to hold the Mirror Force. Your Cyber Dragon's dying no matter what. Um, and then you could just like Mirror Force next turn and potentially get another card at the cost of 400 life points. You're getting pretty low in life. I don't mind it. So here they're just gonna attack. Substitute. So this Unifrog is pretty good. It means like Unifrog meant that we could like deal with skill drain with the Regeki and then attack with Unifrog and pop some cards potentially. But they go for a heavy line, kind of. I mean, I'm at 8,000. I'd think they'd go for a game push, but we're just gonna Regeki break their monster. We have to think about it because They could chain a Gemini Spark and draw a card, but like, I think it's fine to get rid of their monster. The problem was we had to discard like, what did we discard? Substitute? No, I can't remember, but one of these cards. All our cards are kind of relevant there, so they lose everything in their hands full of monsters, which is really awkward for a trap heavy deck. I feel like we can win from here, but they have Dyna, so good thing we held our Stratos because that can just deal with the Dyna pretty easily. They do have the other Cyber Dragon. Honestly, if you have a grip full of monsters, this is a good hand to have, I guess. Kind of like answers every aspect of the game, I guess. So Stratos attack, this is all fine. Here you have Torrential, that's a good draw. Probably just Cyber Dragon. I would probably just go all out here, like. No, you have Torrential, so maybe you hold the Cyber. Maybe it's just like Alias attack, set Torrential. Okay, we do go. I'm fine with this. I'm probably just going to drop the Gores here. Like, I don't really have cards that. Like, this hand sucks. If I draw one bad card, I'm just going to end up Gorsing next turn. And I think we know they have Alias, too. So I'm just going to slam the Gores here. I would think. Yeah. They have Torrential. I think that's dead. Yeah, that's dead. We drew all the heroes, so that's like the worst draw in our deck. Get Tree. Will they Torrential? Maybe. Nope. They have Honest. Why would you Torrential? Summon Unifrog. They'll probably Torrential here. Unifrog's just going to eat that if they don't. And they're at 21, so, I mean, if they don't summon exactly Alias. Oh, this game could go either way at this point. So we could have thought about setting E-Call there, but obviously it locks our Treeborn, so pretty bad. Don't even disregard what I even said. Like, you'd never set the E-Call there. The only thing it does is bluff your opponent into like attacks and summons, but like you can't lock your Treeborn. That's how you're gonna win the game. We're a Caius away. We're a Miracle Fusion away. All right, we draw Mirror. That's a really good draw here. Really, really good. What do we do? Do you summon Alias Trade? Do you set Mirror Force, summon Ocean? I don't know. Summon Ocean is. Oh, we have Treeborn, right? Yeah, you probably just trade then. You summon Alias Trade and just like slow down the game state. Yeah, I like this. Honest. The Honest is actually good for us because that means our Mirror Force gets some value. Set Mirror Force. We're at 800. They're probably going to go for game here. Oh, Upstart. I probably wouldn't play that. Unless you have like a. I mean, you drew heavy in MST, so like you can't Upstart into any spell or trap hate, I don't think. So probably just don't play the Upstart until main phase 2. Alright, we're going to play it. Honest, that's an incredible draw. When your opponent's at 800, like that should lock the game out. Aside from Caius, obviously. But yeah, we have Mirror Force, so they get a bit greedy. Summon the Grandma. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's greedy, but like, I think most of the time they think this is Regeki Break as a Frog player, so they're probably just thinking they can, get one attack in, and then the other card gets Regeki Breaked. But we have the Mirror Force, so really, we're gonna slam this Mirror Force. They kind of get quick with it. Obviously, we're gonna Mirror Force. Okay, and then we draw Kai's. So I had to think for like half a second here. I think like I didn't see the lethal line for 1 second, but yeah, obviously just set E-Call, Kai's the E-Call, attack for game, and that's game. All right, let's get to the next one. So this is a really long match. I think it ended up being like an hour or so. This opening hand is. I mean, we have an answer to Skill Drain. We have a Stratos. We have a Gores. Like, this hand can get places. the awkward thing with hands like this is sometimes you want to search ocean here, but the ocean doesn't. The problem with ocean is it doesn't ever really accomplish anything in a matchup like this. So we probably want to go for Alias anyway and hope to eventually draw a frog for the Miracle Fusion. Um, yeah. So our opponent's got a really strong hand. I mean, they have the mask, oppression, and at this point, we don't know they're playing oppression. Honestly, we don't think they play it. We think they just have skill drain and that's it. We didn't see mask last game either. But they have a really good hand. They have a Stratos, an Alias, a Miracle Fusion, just like everything going. Really weak to Heavy Storm, but I don't think we saw Heavy the whole all three games as this in this matchup, unless I'm mistaken. So they go for Stratos turn one. I wouldn't mind it Alias there, honestly. And then potentially Stratos next turn pop a back row or something. I think that could have been interesting. So they set the mask and the oppression. So if they had Alias here, our Stratos would be a lot worse. Now we can just Stratos and trade. It's pretty good. Can even like set dust with Gores in hand, so like we can feign it's a real trap. They attack, we dust something, drop the Gores, then get some early game Gores pressure and see where it takes you. By the way, we drew the water for Miracle Fusion. Obviously they have mask, but we have an answer to that. But honestly, we might want to just consider leaving that mask up for a bit, just in case. First of all, they are a skill drain deck, so we kind of want to save our Dust Tornado for skill drain. Mask Restrict isn't super broken against frogs. Like we have answers to it, like Unifrog and stuff. We can like take our time. This can also stop them from using Gemini Spark, which is a really good card. Um, so yeah, overall, like we don't have to, you know, do anything crazy. I think we just think for a second on what to get. End up getting Prodigy. Interesting line. I guess that means we do want to kill their mask. Like we could have considered getting Alias here. I think that's up for debate for sure. It also like kind of tells our opponent, hey, we have a tribute in our hand and an answer for your mask. Just by getting Prodigy here, like you're giving all that info. And again, I just want to clarify. We don't think our oppression plays oppression. We don't think our opponent plays oppression. So here we're going to trade. I'm good with this. I like the trade. If they have D-Prison, so be it. Set dust. This is something we could have considered thinking about, I guess. Because, like, I guess we have to stick to our line. We want to kill the mask, special the Prodigy. Yeah. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, our opponent has a really awkward scenario here where if they use the oppression, their masks, their miracles are dead. So yeah, they're going to summon the ocean, attack. We don't have a great answer to ocean here. So we're going to dust the mask. Drop the Gores. Seems fine by me. They might just slam the Miracle main phase too, huh? They don't. I think with a hand like this, you want to. I mean, first of all, you're going to want to flip a floodgate. We don't have a direct answer to Gores here. Why not just Miracle? And then if we're ever forced to oppression, we don't have two dead cards in our hand, right? Like, you should have Miracled there 100%, right? Here we shift them both to attack because, like, there's more D-Prison in the game than there are Mirror Force, and if they like if we want to conserve against a Mirror Force, we probably keep the 15 in defense and attack. And then if they have D-Prison, then we look like an idiot because we could have killed this ocean. And ocean's really scary because it can just bounce the Stratos every turn. It can net them so much advantage. So I like this. I mean, if they have it, so be it. And then we can go for we lose our two monsters. Main phase 2, we can special the Prodigy, normal the Substitute. Yeah. This is all fine. I think for a bit, do I want to set the Torrential? Do I want to potentially commit the Substitute? I think all that is unnecessary. I don't really want to. I mean, I get that we could get the Treeborn up, and we saw a mask. So if we get this Substitoad out of the way right away, we could get the Treeborn set up before they can do anything. On the other hand, we have a Soul Exchange, so we kind of want a way to, use it. And if we don't ever draw a Tribute, I would assume they're going to use the Miracle now. You got to use it before the Oppression flips, right? Are you going to attack the token here, or are you going to attack the Goras? If you summon this, you probably attack the Goras. So now you have Oppression, Judgment, Alias. Yeah, this is really good for our opponent. Honestly, they could have Miracle Fusioned these two main phase 1, blow up the board, attack for 25. I'd be at 4k. They'd have Solemn, Bottomless, Oppression. How do you lose? Right? Instead, they're going to attack this. I lose my 2 guys. I take 19. And then they're probably going to flip Oppression, and they're going to have a dead Miracle for a while. So this is all fine. Let's see where this lands. That's a good draw. Caius is a good draw. Because it kind of... So if I ever Soul Exchange their guy and they let it stick, and then I normal Substitoad, if they have a Sol in there, that's a pretty big blowout, obviously. I have a lot of things I can do with this hand, to be honest. I wonder what the play is. I mean, I could even just set Substitoad and be really chill. I could special the Prodigy, see what happens there. Yeah, there's a lot you can do. Let's see what I do. Soul Exchange. Yeah, I like this. I mean, you can Soul Exchange Tribute for Caius. That's fine. Them thinking means one of two things. It means they have a Gemini Spark and they're considering chaining to draw a card, which is fine because that also locks me out of tribute summoning. It also means they could have Solemn. Them letting it slide could mean they have Gemini Spark alongside Hero Blast. So they're like, oh, if you tribute this, we can just Hero Blast it back and then use our Gemini Spark at a better moment, right? I think so. It ends up just being that it was Solemn. So good thing we don't Substitoad here. Or maybe we do. I don't really know for sure. Alright, we Caius. I like this because if they Solemn the Substitoad, we're looking like dead. And now we're just like roll a 4. And then I realized they said, So I think they're going to give us the thumbs up when we roll a 4. And 4 usually means the middle. So when they give it the thumbs up, I'm like, maybe it is Solemn. I'm gonna re-roll and do what that says. And what the re-roll is the re-roll is a 3, so we're gonna hit the far right. And that ends up being the Solemn, so I'm lucky. We're lucky it was, because if we hit the middle, it would have been bottomless, and we would have looked like an idiot. But now we look like a genius, right? And they don't bottomless. That's interesting. I guess it's because they have Miracle Fusion it out to the Caius. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Although, if we bottomless here, that would mean that they have a 2-turn clock. But this way they get to keep bottomless and have an answer for Caius. They're low on resources. I can respect this a lot. I like this a lot. Perfect timing, Gemini Spark. So, still no Oppression flip, so their miracles are live. So I guess they get rewarded for playing really conservative. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know if I would have played the same way, but I'm not a hero beat main, and I'm sure they are. And I think they have been playing pretty well, to be honest. So they're going to get their value. The only thing I don't agree with on this player's side is keeping all those MSTs and heavies. Like, that seems a bit excessive. Probably side them all out, to be honest. So they attack the 1, and now they have 0 bottomless Oppression. Like, still looking in a great spot. So on our side, we have to really think about how we're going to deal with this 0, because obviously you want to get your value by killing the 0, and then once the 0 is dead, we also want to commit a big guy. We don't want to commit a big guy into the 0. We want to like Get rid of the 0 with a small card and then summon a big guy, if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. So here, we pretty much know they don't have mass because they've been flipping it. They could have skill drain. That's what we're kind of playing around. And still, we have not seen an oppression this whole game. So like, here's where the oppression comes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they oppress here. Now all of a sudden our hand's really dead. Like, so they're in a really good position this whole game, and they hold their good position with this oppression. Yeah, we still have no frogs, by the way, but we draw the Treeborn. Honestly, really good draw, the Treeborn. Here's the thing. Are we gonna set the Treeborn Torrential? I think we have to think for a bit here. So we set the Treeborn, we set the Torrential. So this could be a problem because if our opponent never commits, we're gonna be the one that have to summon and Torrential. Now, if we were to use summon substitute to use priority, we could bait 800 out of our opponent and chain Torrential, but like, that's still not the greatest position, right? So let's see what happens here. They draw a monster. Are they going to summon it? They are. So we're definitely going to Torrential. We're just going to get our value right away, get rid of the 0. And we have 2 special summon cards, but again, the substitute is huge in this matchup for the defensive points. And we have a chance to make our comeback at this point since they summoned. If they never summoned, they probably won this game, to be honest. That's a really good draw for them, like extremely good. Like any monster is huge right now when you're backed up with an oppression and a bottomless. So that's a really good draw. Alright, well we have Treeborn, don't forget that. Treeborn's going to be very relevant for stalling sometime and hopefully getting the heavy storm we haven't seen in 3 games against a floodgate deck with no roads in sight. Yeah, I guess we just swap frog. We're gonna mill our deck to hopefully get some better draws, right? That's good. And attack for 1k. I like all this. So maybe we can get into a game state where our opponent is at like 16 and we summon substitute. Hopefully they pay 8 and then we can miracle for game. I think that's what we're going for. Let's just look over all the cards real quick. Yeah. Let's see what happens. That is wow. What a draw. I mean, maybe Honest would have been a better draw, but that's probably the best draw they could have had there. That's got to be the best draw they could have had there. MST is an interesting card. We could just slam this MST and go for like a sublock. Honestly, we could also like slam the MST to play around oppression. I mean, dust shoot. But again, they're a skill drain deck, so we have to like use our spell and trap hate really well in order to win this matchup. Now our hand is super special summon heavy, but we're not necessarily forced to do anything because we have our Treeborn for stall, we have substitute with 2000 defense. I wouldn't be opposed to just setting the substitute. Definitely don't want to set the MST because we've seen they kept the MST and heavy in. So may as well just keep this in our hand and use it at the perfect moment. Their Solemn's gone. Yep. Yeah, I like setting the sub. I think what this means is like I'm trying to set up a crazy turn where we can, if we set the sub, that means it isn't our normal summon all of a sudden. So maybe we can set up like a MST Unifrog turn or something like that, maybe. Or maybe just like try and get a few pieces of combo. That way we can, go for a game shot. They're just going to attack Treeborn for no reason. Sure. Draw Swap Frog. Really, really bad draw, to be honest. But something cool with Swap Frog is you can set it and flip it and it'll get its effect. And they're not really going to want to attack because they know most of their monsters are 2k defense. So let's see what I do. Summon Swap. Yeah, I like this too. We can mill maybe 1 or 2 substitutes and just try and thin our deck out to draw something better. Sure, this is all fine. They draw a bottomless, sure. We draw 1 for 1. That's a really bad draw. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. We don't swap frog here because I think if we didn't draw 1 for 1, we would probably just send substitute. But because we did draw 1 for 1, we're gonna save the substitute in deck for a potential, like, I don't know if they have like a an answer to this substitute. Maybe we can get another one. I'm fine with that. Here they draw skill drain. So if we keep being passive and not using this MST to overcommit, our opponent's just going to keep drawing cards like this. And we understand this, but at the same time, still no heavy. Their Solemn's gone. If we draw like a Caius, we can answer this. Like, we're just praying to draw something, right? I kind of like this because, like, if we MST this and then we like go balls to the wall, they could simply just have a bottomless and we'd be out of the game. Also, their Miracle Fusion's live. We obviously would have lost that if we do that. So I kind of like that we're being conservative here. I am a fan of this. I'm not really sure why they're attacking Treeborn. Potted Duality doesn't exist in this format, so like, no reason. Here we draw Nobleman. Do we want to slam this? Do we want to hold it? I don't know. All right, we hold it. I like that. Sure. Get a better grasp of the game state. If our opponent locks their board, they can't commit any other cards, so they're stuck with the cards they have, and maybe we can Nobleman MST, go for a game shot all at once. I like this. Here they're going to attack here. Why do they do that? They do that because they drew Hero Blast. That means they can Gemini Spark my guy and Hero Blast it. That makes a lot of sense. And also they have Skill Drain, which is costing them life, which is like... Did they pay 1,000 there? Oh, they did, okay. So, I mean, we're at 45. We have some life to play with. Oh, Dupe Frogs are... It's honestly, you'd think not drawing frogs is bad, but it's actually really good here. So we have to think about this. I mean, under Oppression and Skill Drain, we don't really have to worry about a Miracle Fusion. Why do we play this? I don't know if I like this. Unless I'm going for a game shot right now. I don't remember. Let's see what happens. So we target the first one because I think I had a reason for this, but yeah. So they show their deck because I guess because they have the one in hand. Normally you don't have to do this, but then they asked to see my deck. I'm just gonna show them. I wish I didn't, but so be it. Um, I'm not sure why I used the Nobleman in that turn, but I do. I wonder why. Oh, I think I'm gonna use the substitute this turn, huh? No, I'm not. So why did I know? I don't think that was correct. I don't think that was correct for sure. I mean, we just unlocked their board, and they draw MST, so they could go for some plays this turn if they want to. This is all fine. I forget how to flip a card halfway through. So they set bottomless, which makes sense. And we're gonna read this as bottomless because they only had one with the Nobleman. So no, that's bottomless. So here you got to keep in mind that Swap Frog can kill your dupe frog on board. Every time I do it, our opponent asks how I sent the dupe to graveyard, but Swap can send your cards on board to the graveyard, and that's super relevant because that's your second Unifrog. I know every frog deck runs one, but there's always access to 2 Unifrogs in a game, maybe even 3 sometimes, because Swap can kill your dupe, and that is relevant, believe it or not, because your opponent always slams their Mirror Force on it, and then you can just bring it back and do it again. They don't expect the second one. So we're walled up big time. Don't want to commit this MST because they have MST. And look, they have it. We know they have bottomless set. We also, I think we have a read that they have, because we saw their deck, we kind of have a read on what they have. And we do think it's Gemini Spark Hero Blast. So they're just going to keep attacking our face downs. This is fine. With their oppression up, we can't really lose to anything aside from the same Cyber Dragon. And at that point, maybe we would MST their Skill Drain. I don't know how I feel about like the mask with the Gemini sparks. Like I get that like you think Mask can stop the deck completely, but that's not the case. Like frogs can do pretty well against Mask. They have the heroes, the miracle fusions, the gores. Like a lot of these cards can just carry a game on themselves, or even like a dupe block. Or like sometimes you can just like summon swap, bounce it to hand, normal Unifrog, special swap, attack, kill the Mask, then continue with your turn. You didn't even normal summon. So yeah, here we're gonna use this the dupe and the sub and see what happens. And they let it slide. They're not gonna pay 8. We're gonna get the Unifrog. Let's see if this slides. I guess we. This is a bit preemptive. Yeah, see, I said the game states were questionable. I think we could have just. I think we could have been patient, more patient, knowing that there's like Caius and stuff. In Heavy Storm. I just. I believe it or not, I also had Super Poly that I never drew. So like the 3 blowout cards, Super Poly, Heavy, I never draw in this matchup. So they're just going to Gemini Spark that. That is completely reasonable. They might chain the Hero Blast here. I probably would if I were them. They don't. Okay. So because they don't chain the Hero Blast, I'm kind of thinking they don't have it. But I guess they do. Like they did that combo last time. I don't know why they didn't this time. I suppose it's because of Miracle. No, they have a hero, so I don't understand. And we didn't summon, so probably just set the... Actually, this is where we're going to do the Q play, set the Swap Frog probably. Yeah, I like that. We don't want to summon it because it kind of plays into Torrential. I know we kind of have a read on these two, but things aren't always accurate as they seem. And so next turn we could flip swap, kill dupe, add Unifrog to hand, bounce Treeborn, extra frog Unifrog, and bait out the Torrential there. And then we can continue with their turn, maybe go for game. They're at 2k. So they draw Alias, not the best draw. They're going to Miracle. I have no reason not to pay 8, even if they have the MST, which I'm sure they do, and they do. So they're going to get rid of the Suppression, and that's going to kind of cost them. But at the same time, we can't ever really play this Miracle because we know they have the second Bottomless. So they're going to get rid of their Pression. Makes some sense with their call, but like that does open up the floodgates. So let's see what happens. They're going to 0. And they don't Hero Blast a Dupe Frog and attack my 2 dudes. I don't get that. Like they could have just answered this board, but they choose not to. And we draw Kaya, so we just have to think about how to play this overall game state. I think we're just going to flip the swap, use the effect, kill the dupe, get Unifrog, bounce something, extra frog, Unifrog, attack, start blowing up back rows, main phase 2, tribute for Caius, get rid of the 0. If everything goes correctly. If it doesn't, we'll reevaluate. I mean, Snowman's just a clean out to the 0-2. Alright, let's see what happens. Tribute for Caius. Oh, this makes some sense too. We kind of have dupe lock. We can... I don't know if I like this. No, I like this. I think we're trying to bait out the Bottomless, and if they don't... I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking in this moment. At this point, we're going on like 50 minutes. So we're going to Caius the Alias here. Okay. Yeah, I think it's because I want to use this. I kind of want to swap lock. Like, if you flip the swap, we don't even have to kill a dupe yet. We can do that at a different point in the game, maybe, and keep bouncing the Caius. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. All right, we passed because we have dupe lock. Okay, I could see this. We can, like, special tree, flip swap, bounce Caius, tribute tree. And then we can also extra frog some. Okay. They draw Honest. That's pretty dead. They pass. They're being really conservative with this Hero Blast. That's interesting. Regeki Break's a really good draw. We can discard this 1-for-1. Get back tree. Alright, we're going to do something good here, I'm sure. Get swap. Effect. They give the thumbs up? All right, we're gonna get the thumbs up. Kill Unifrog or kill dupe. Get Unifrog. They're gonna ask how we did that because they always do. Yeah, see how did dupe go? Yep, swap can kill dupe frog. They're gonna hero blast our Unifrog again. But guess what? We could do it again if we want. We go for the third Unifrog. Unifrog's a good card. We haven't normaled yet, so we could just Caius the 0 here. It's a weird game state because we have to answer the 0 and the bottomless, and they're at 2k, so like we want to go for game, right? Maybe it could have just been set the snowman. Yeah, I don't know. Setting snowman kind of was pretty good too, huh? Swap is gonna get the dupe is gonna get Unifrog. Set Regeki. I don't know about setting Regeki here. Like, they've been through 3 miracles, so we're not afraid of like any aggro, right? They do have the call though. 19 plus 19 is 38, so that would be game. But they have no monsters in graveyard, so like we're not even afraid of a call, and we don't think they play it, to be honest. So I don't think we have to set this Regeki. All it does is block our Treeborn, and we don't want to slam it against anything. I don't think I knew they played through Miracle at that point, though. A Shining would be huge here, huh? Good thing it's not legal this format. So they attack. Do we want to Regeki break that and go for a game shot? Maybe is what we're thinking. We take it. So now we're in honest range. Honest alias range. I think that's what I'm thinking at this point, and that's why I'm kind of want to kill the Lancer. I think we know they have alias in hand too. E-call. Is that dead? We have alias and ocean in deck. That... But we know they have bottomless. All right, we're gonna miracle into bottomless, and if they answer the miracle, we blow up their guy. We get to e-call for Stratos and special swap, and we know the last card is a call. Oh, that's what if they bottomless our guy. It blows up their guy. Their bottomless is gone. They have 1 card left. We can Regeki break it, summon Stratos, special swap, attack for game, and they don't run Gores because they run 6 floodgates, right? So that's game. This is a long game, but it was like it's pretty interesting. We got a lot of weird game states like the Cyber Dragon killing the 2000 defense monsters. They had all the floodgates in the world. They drew way better than us. We never drew heavy, super poly. We never drew any like broken card. Even Caius was like there were so many Caius we were missing. Like it was just a really unfortunate game that we made work for us somehow. I think we didn't play perfectly, but we played pretty well. We don't summon Stratos, but we have Swap and Snowman, so we'll just special swap. We could also alternatively special Substitute, and that would be 100 plus 19 still lethal. So like a lot of lines for game there. And that's game. That's a really long game. This was a 50-minute review, but I think it was a good one. That's why I wanted to and I wanted to go over it slowly because someone requested it in one of my recent videos. It wasn't a live game, but like I think it was a really good game. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and leave in the comments what type of duels you want to see next. I'm going to stick with frogs, but I can review other games. So if you request, I think I saw a request for GB. Can try to get some GB games, stuff like that. Peace out.